Alright. Welcome back to What's Niggling Me. I'm a little unorganized, but the intro today is some old clips I'd like to have people hear if they haven't heard them already. This is Bibi Netanyahu, 1996, in the United States.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone.
1996. Okay. The day of 9/11. I'm unsure which clip is first.
Fall from hell, because they don't intend to stay where they are. They're constantly developing greater technical proficiency, and the radical regimes, specifically Iran and Iraq, that are part of this terror network, are developing weapons of mass destruction. So the next time, as horrific as this attack was, as horrible and agonizing and loss of life, the next time you will see not thousands or 10,000 people die in New York, but millions. In other words, once this Islamic militancy acquires nuclear weapons, they might change history. They might destroy our civilization, our freedoms, our democracy that they hate so much. And therefore, this wake-up call that we've received is a summons to action. It says that unless we act now to dismantle this terror network of terrorist states manipulating terrorist groups in the Middle East and beyond, then our future is in doubt. They have the will to destroy us.
Did you hear that "we" in there? The leader of Israel on 9/11 saying "we." And that interview is that night of 9/11 with Geraldo Rivera. And this is another part of that interview with Geraldo Rivera. Weird coincidence he mentions.
You wrote in your book 5 years ago, Fighting Terrorism, How Democracies Can Defeat Domestic and International Terrorism. I'll quote, "In the worst scenario, the consequences could not be a car bomb, but a nuclear bomb in the basement of the World Trade Center." You got the location right, the weapon wrong, but they didn't even need a nuclear weapon. Do you really envision the obtaining of weapons of mass destruction by these very same personalities or people like them, and that they would have the will to deliver even an Armageddon kind of blow to the United States?
Do you have any doubt?
Do you have any doubt, he says. Sounds like Israel has a lot of influence. Sounds like the Israeli government has a lot of influence. Did you know the CIA can't spy on anybody on US soil, so they get MI6 in Israel to do it for them, and that's not illegal? That might be why for some reason, the United States and Canada's greatest ally. It's weird when you hear those messages or those interviews, when you look back on them. Or my one from yesterday, when you look at the Event 201, and that they played out a fictional scenario in October 2019, and then we shut everything down in March 2020. They already went over how to do that. And then do you hear the fear-mongering of Bibi Netanyahu? He said on the night of 9/11, he was warning about weapons of mass destruction. And then it got parroted by every news network everywhere. Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction. And then they went there, murdered 1 million Iraqis, and didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. weird. That was just my little rant. I'd like to talk about Biden's pardons, but I'm going to do Biden's pardons tomorrow. If you look at my old ones, well, one or two of my older episodes already, Trump pardoned that fucking guy. Jonathan Pollard's handler, basically, that recruited him to spy for Israel. Trump pardoned that guy. I'm not a huge fan of that, and I wasn't a fucking huge fan back then of that. But I like that he's making fun of Justin Trudeau, and he's going to get rid of Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland. Well, she's gone. She should be held accountable. I know she's cutting these ties, so she doesn't have to be held accountable for what's gone on during the government's time in the last 8 fucking years. When you're the economic minister, and how, I want to say, unsure, I'm pretty sure $4 billion of CERB was taken by citizens that weren't eligible. Because I remember Justin Trudeau saying this. I will find the clip. Maybe I'll use it for tomorrow's beginning. Of him saying something along the lines of, Canadians are trustworthy people and they won't take advantage of CERB. It's like, you're a little out of touch, you retard. Sorry, Mom. But he definitely deserves that. What did I just see? Oh, that reminds me. Geraldo Rivera, the guy that was interviewing Bibi Netanyahu on 9/11, that guy is real interesting. He broke a story that I told my mom about, didn't want her to watch it, but he broke a story back in the day of, I gotta look it up, Willbrook, I think, maybe Willowbrook or Willbrook. It was an institution for, the word they used was the word my mom doesn't like to use, but people with intellectual disabilities. But in the 70s, in the 80s too, but all the time before, not all the time before they were imbeciles, during Margaret Sanger, Bill Gates' dad, when they were doing eugenics, Planned Parenthood, it was imbeciles. They had to sterilize the imbeciles so they didn't reproduce. That was part of the pioneer of feminism, Margaret Sanger's, what she said. She literally said that. I will do a good old Margaret Sanger. I showed my mom her. If you will look up, there's old interviews of her, like one-on-one interviews, defending sterilizing kids. Or sterilizing people that didn't deserve to procreate, in her opinion. That was, I want to say, in the 30s. Hitler hadn't even really started that, and she had the vision for that. Pioneer of feminism. Go look her up, Margaret Sanger. But Geraldo Rivera, weaving like Trump. Geraldo Rivera, yeah, he did that, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's weird if you watch it. There's a little documentary out there, and it's disturbing, disgusting. It's along the lines of October 7th. Like, that type of disgusting abuse of people. The way they treated people with disabilities was disgusting. My mom started working with people with disabilities in the 80s. She'd be disgusted to see how they were treated. And they were treated like that in a lot of places. They were exposed in the early 70s. The fucking place didn't get shut down until 1987, I think. That's how much compassion and care that our government has for our health and safety. It's a fucking lie, they tell you. And if you heard fucking Bibi Netanyahu there, they want to go to Iran. You wonder why I keep fucking saying? He wants all these countries around him, wipe those fucking brown people off the land. He believes it's Israel's land. They're the chosen people. That's what they fucking say. The people that killed Jesus say they're the chosen people. It's fucking weird. I've been trying to understand it. It's so confusing. I'm supposed to believe the lies. Did you hear this dumb fuck talking about freedom and democracy? They hate us for it. They've been regurgitating these same fucking lies for decades. That's why I didn't fall for COVID. Because they're fucking liars. On a whole different note, we'll talk about the country I live in. It's in shambles. But it's been like that. It's literally the exact same as the United States. We're just 6 months to a year behind in acknowledging the United States has a person that probably doesn't even remember how to tie his shoes. He's probably reverted back to a single-digit infant. And his wife with an honorary doctorate degree, not a real doctor, Joe Biden, props him out there because, I don't know, she loves being fucking, whatever that shit is, the wife, the lady, the first lady. She loves it. Did you see, by the way, Hunter Biden was at I don't know what, with and chatting it up with Flava Flav. Hunter Biden fucking makes me laugh. So we live in this shitty country, Canada, under the tyrannical rule of Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland. Our housing prices are ridiculous. But one gripe I have, and I really started to get frustrated last year. We have this fucking MAID program where the government euthanizes you. Now, I completely understand this. You got terminal cancer, or along those lines, something debilitating like that. I completely understand it. But Canada has tried and been delayed. It's been delayed because there's been pushback. Thank fucking God. Our government wants you to, if you're depressed, you can kill yourself. They'll help you. What kind of first world country fucking idea is that? 15,000 people killed themselves last year in Canada. Now, I saw the average age was 77. The government never gives you comprehensive studies. So, like that, I'll get into this. I'll get into the next one. That I need proof, or I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I want all the studies, or I don't believe you on this other point. But when I was growing up, Dr. Kevorkian, he was as scary as quicksand. Canadian government wants to do what I think Jack Kevorkian, I think that's what his name was. It's been a long time since I heard the name, but I thought of it today. Because of this fucking MAID program. I understand pulling the plug on somebody that is brain dead. I understand these things. But if you're depressed and there's about to be the majority of the population as these kids grow up on their fucking phones, they're fucking depressed because they're comparing themselves to the entire world. They're not comparing themselves to just their kids in school or the high schools, the parties, like in the town and city. They're comparing themselves with people all over the world with filters. They look like fucking plastic with no jobs, lip fillers. It was one thing to have pounds of makeup on when I was growing up, or the orange fucking tan. Tabloids said you had to be skinny, and it was like fucking Tara Reid or fucking Tyra Banks. I don't know. She's not skinny, but she was all about promoting girls to be skinny. But now you can't even go online if you're a fucking teenage girl. It must be hell. It seriously must be hell. And all these kids are going to be fucking depressed. Then you have guys that are not going to be able to get any pussy because these girls can be online and get guys from all around the world. So why would they settle for some kid in their town, some boy in their town or whatever like that? So then you have no families. Just a bad fucking way we're going. I want to get married, have kids. It's fucking hard. Women are selling their pussy left and right these days. I'm never having a kid with a woman that sells her pussy. It was shitty if your mom was hot when I was growing up. Imagine if your kids' fucking friends can pull up fucking your pussy on the fucking internet and show them at fucking school or wherever. That's fucked. That's fucked. Kim Kardashian deserves it when her kids grow up, and she deserves it. That's how you got famous. Getting fucked by Ray J on camera. And if you're embarrassed or whatever, or the kids say this or kids saying, hey, you did it. It's your fucking fault. Suffer the consequences, take some accountability. But the MAID program. If you're depressed, they're going to put you on fucking pharmaceutical drugs. And if all those little small print side effects, if those things happen, I'm sure, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not trying to have any, I'm not trying to have my video pulled. But if you read those commercials and you see that fine print, that's what I'm talking about. All those side effects from all those pharmaceutical drugs. Let's put your kids on those. Let's put your kids on pharmaceutical drugs. And then if that doesn't work, they can just kill themselves. What a good remedy. That's why that's why our homeless fucking population continues to grow in Canada. That's why fucking overdoses continue to fucking grow. That's why I'm gonna go to see my parents at Christmas, and I'm gonna go see my brother, and I know downtown Windsor, there'll be people in the freezing cold, bent over, touching their toes, because they're so fucking high on fentanyl. Like, it's gonna be fucked. And the cops will just drive by, not care. 100%. I sat next to people at the bus stop when I would go to the gym downtown fucking Windsor, and these people are smoking crack, right? You can sit in the fucking, maybe it's this size, fucking bench, the bus stop's that got some glass. And these fucking homeless people fucking love those places. They bring their fucking shopping carts. They fucking light up their fucking crack pipes while I smoke a joint next to them. It's a wild experience. Couple drive by, 0 fucks given. I got a video, I might have posted it before on my Instagram, of a guy high as fuck on meth or crack, I'm unsure, but he was in a whole different world having a conversation with an invisible person, with somebody in their head. Insane. Cops don't care. Or they're told not to care. I don't know. Things are looking good in Canada. But it gets worse. It get. I fucking pay taxes, I guess. So that's why, like, these things bother me when 1 penny goes to fucking murdering people overseas. I fucking hate that. Israel's not my ally. Ukraine ain't my fucking ally. I know Ukraine fought for the Nazis. No, not my allies. They're massively corrupt. You can go and look up tons of fucking articles written by all the mainstream media when they weren't on the Ukraine side about they were the most corrupt country in the fucking world. What was I going to mention about this topic here that came up in that last one? I don't know. But my other gripe, one of them, something that really niggles me. Trans healthcare for minors. The only trans healthcare for minors should be, I don't even know what the industry looks like and what this industry looks like, but they need to be speaking to a psychologist. And I don't know how corrupted that field of work has become. Of like, are they like, what's that fucking white fragility fucking woman's name? I don't know, but if you're one of those people that are like, I recognize my white privilege. I want you nowhere near me, nowhere near anybody. I don't want any of that influence anywhere near me. It's so hard not to say retarded. For so many people that niggle me. I find it unbelievably difficult to try and summon another word because that word just wants to come out. I don't want to call them a person with intellectual disabilities. Feels like it doesn't do it justice. I don't know. I saw on Canada's website that, I know what it was now. I want the facts, I want the fucking studies. It says that puberty blockers are reversible. Now, I don't believe you. I don't believe that at all. Prove it. I do not believe it. Show me studies and the full fucking comprehensive study. Not the fucking conclusion, the outcome. I want to see who those people are that did the study and who funded them. I want it all. I'm not fucking dumb. I do not believe that you can take puberty blockers, you stop taking them, and your puberty resumes. Maybe how long? That's just such a vague thing. If you take puberty blockers for a year at 16 years old and stop taking them, what happens? Are actual studies done? Because I bet you they're not. On 13-year-olds doing it for a year. Because I know in Canada, there is no limit on age. I will fucking read it, and I will tell you the government website it's on. I said that to Bubba, because I was like, look at this disgusting stuff. They pass, it's not in the media. They pass these fucking things. These things have passed. Not the made one. Not the... They want it though. They've tried twice now. They're going to try again. If you have depression, you can kill yourself and they'll help. The Canadian government. That's gross. Look it up. Trans healthcare for minors. Fuck, does that disgust me. Let me read it. Age requirements. This is on Service Ontario. That's the province in Canada for anybody. You can call toll free at 1-866-532-3161. Toll free. If you don't believe me. There is no minimum age requirement for sex reassignment surgery that must be met for OHIP. That's the Ontario Health Insurance Program we have. To approve funding. The responsibility for determining whether a patient is capable of consenting to treatment is that of the treating provider. So, our healthcare that our taxes pay into, there's no health requirement in Ontario. OHIP covers most types of sex reassignment surgeries, such as chest and genital procedures, including private clinic stays outside of Canada. That is on topsurgery.ca. August 13th, 2024. Go look up Dr. Phil has this doctor on that was a whistleblower for gender affirming care they were giving to kids that were 11 years old. And there's another doctor on there, this other woman who is married to a trans man, I believe. For anybody thinking I'm being a fucking bigot. Go look up, go watch all of Jillian Michaels' podcasts because she's been fucking killing it. Jillian Michaels, she's a queer woman and she's willing to discuss and have on tons of people that you would think she would never speak to, but she's willing and open. If anybody on any episode would like to refute it, discuss it, anything I say, I leave the comments on and I have no moderation. 0. Say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. And I would love to learn more. Teach me something. I live in Canada and I want to know about that Middle East more. I want to know about Africa more. What the fuck's going on in those countries for real? Not what my media tells me. I can research as much as possible, but it gets tougher with our censorship by the day. Our government's pushing for that China, North Korea. That's what it's been happening in the last 4 years. Dr. Etienne Hum. Dr. Phil. He's powerful enough, got a big enough platform, and he's been speaking out. Jillian Michaels, she's fucking dope. She's killing it. She's killing it. Democrats waking up. Liberals waking up. I'm proud to see some people. I hope somebody watches any of these episodes, one topic they're interested in, and they look it up more. Because I got a lot of things that niggle me. Here, oh, my crypto. At one point, probably lost like $1,200 like in the last 12 hours, but bought some more. So I'm looking at, and things have been climbing back up. So we should be back to golden. Not worried. Where the fuck did I just put that phone? What else was I going to talk about? I don't know how long it's been. Oh, this other thing. I don't really know. I haven't really mentioned it or went into it very much. 30 minutes? All right. So I used to live in Windsor. It's not a big city, but it's a decent sized city, maybe like 150,000. And I worked at a college there for 6-7 years. I worked at the college gym, met tons of people, learned tons of things. When I started working there, most of the international students were Asian. I'm gonna go with Chinese. 2018, I believe it was. That was when we started to get the first real influx of Indian people. Now, in case you think I'm a fucking bigot, my great-grandparents are from India. They became indentured servants in Trinidad and Tobago. My grandma met my grandpa pen paling while he was in the Canadian Air Force in Montreal. She fucking moved from Trinidad and Tobago up, married him, had my aunt and my dad. So that's, okay, I'm Indian. That's how it happened. My mom's a little white woman though. They, at first, didn't understand Canada a ton at all, because these were the first ones. This is not the same, but maybe can try and get this perspective. Back when everybody immigrated at different times, when the Irish people came over, when Italian people came over, when black people were brought over, they were treated like shit. All of them, when they immediately got here. The Jewish people, if they're in Canada, I don't see them. They are here, but there's not an abundance. But they were all treated like shit. Every ethnicity that came over here. Asians treated like shit. Japanese Chinese, all of them treated like shit. If you're not a white fucking Anglo-Saxon, if you're not an Englishman, or maybe a Dutch, or French, you're treated like shit. And that's how, because they didn't know the culture, you know what I mean? They're brought over here. Those people were brought over more for work and came over and were put to work. All treated like shit. The Indian people, they didn't have to get treated like shit, but they get treated like, probably, because most people, that's how they fucking treat them. They don't treat them. They treat them like they're fucking dumb. That's what they treat them like. People treat them like they're fucking dumb. And it's because the Indian culture is way different, in especially say 2018. They hadn't been over in North America. Usually it was like parents immigrated and the kid grew up there in North America. But these teenagers they're teenagers, like into young 20s. They're coming over here. They see this American and Canadian lifestyle on the internet. They have no fucking clue. Like, they had no clue. Now they're getting better because the Indian people are getting better. Come on, everybody's got to admit. It's been a short period of time. It's been 5-6 years. 6-7 years maybe. That they've been coming over here in mass amounts. Young people. And they've gotten better at etiquette, or like, you know what I mean, Canadian culture etiquette. They fucking sucked at the gym etiquette at first, because they like to hang out there and be on FaceTime all the time. But then their friends, like, you know, they tell them, because they really like the Canadian lifestyle. No offense. This is true in my opinion, and tell me I'm wrong. Asian people, when they come up from Asia, they usually don't immerse themselves in the culture. They stick to their culture. They just bring their culture over here. Tell me I'm wrong. Indians, they like a lot of Canadian stuff, like American stuff. They like it. Asian people are just looking to do Asian stuff over here. I don't have anything against it. They're not bothering me. But Indian people like getting involved, and then people are like, what the fuck are they doing? It's because they're learning. They like open-toed sandals 12 months a year, even when it's fucking, we got snow outside in here, like in Windsor, wherever. See them with open-toed sandals. They like bare feet. It's better for you to do that than wear socks and shoes all the time. Even though Americans, I know you guys like wearing socks and shoes in your house. I don't know why. Well, you can wear socks. I don't know why you wear shoes in the house. But I know you're doing it if you're watching this in American. Like my one buddy, Joe, wears them fucking in his room. He's got shoes on. So these Indians, they got a hard time over here. And when the United States fucking tried to overthrow Syria in like 2014, there was a big push to get they're blowing fucking the place up. So a lot of refugees came to Canada, and I saw everyone bitching. And it's because they don't know anything. They don't know that they're being forced. That their home is rubble, and their brothers and sisters and daughters and sons are blown up and are missing fucking limbs. Like, they don't know. They don't think like that. I don't know why I think like that. I always did for some reason. Maybe I think just because the Iraq one, I would hear it every fucking day. And then, I don't know, I was on the internet. I was looking up stuff on the internet a long time ago. Like, I guess because I liked the drug war. I liked Griselda Blanco. I liked that stuff. So then there's little side shoots of that. Like, the government's involved. The government's involved in a lot of stuff, and a lot of illegal stuff, a lot of illegal drugs. Afghanistan, opium for 20 fucking years. Vietnam. The United States, that's how they're making their money. Why do you think fucking cartels are allowed to do whatever they want on their border? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. There shouldn't be any cartels. Why are you going after countries across an ocean when there's a country attached to the United States with all the drugs? Doesn't make any sense. Because they're making a lot of money. That's why. The United States makes a lot of money off illegal stuff. So I just had no trust in any of the institutions. Banks, like, that's a fucking joke. Banking is a joke. They proved it when they debanked people during the pandemic and the trucker protests. We've always lived in a corrupt world, a corrupt society, and now it's getting exposed. More and more people are learning, and it's refreshing. I knew nobody was ever gonna, it was rare to ever get to have a 9/11 conversation because I knew nobody would entertain it. Just call it, they don't even want to entertain it. Nobody would like to entertain it for so long. And when someone was awake they use critical thinking. They weren't just on to the next, blindfolded by entertainment tonight, and gay TMZ and all that shit. What's this celebrity doing? And trans healthcare for minors getting fucking puberty blockers. It gets passed in government. It's a weird world where people care. People would rather fucking bury their head in the sand. I don't get it. Let's have a fuck Dr. Fauci for this video. Not Dr. Fauci. Anthony Fauci. He doesn't deserve to be a doctor. It's fucking freezing here. Coldest day of the year. Is there anything else? I was talking about this immigration. So people have been complaining in the small town. People complained on the internet, I remember, when anytime there's refugees. And they just don't put themselves in other people's shoes, I guess. Like, I guess just that's what it is. And the media told everybody to hate brown people for fucking 20 years. So nobody has any sympathy. It's fucking just unbelievable. But unfortunately, there's becoming a little bit more people are realizing of these lies. Thank fucking God. Got caught on COVID. Did a bad job hiding COVID. Bad job. It was obvious from the start. I should have been doing this during COVID instead of posting on my Instagram stories and Zuckerberg saying misinformation, pulling them down. Fucking horseshit. I would have been bad. They would have booted me off it. It would have been booted me right off. Wouldn't have been allowed to be on there. On here. So bullshit. Fuck all the institutions. But I've been trying to explain to these people in my town that have been complaining about Indian people. I tried to explain to them, our government has massively incentivized it, and they get, why is every place that you go to have tons of Indian people and now African people? And I got nothing against either of them. I think black people are the best athletes, pretty much. That's why sports is so great. I love athletics, and black people are superior athletics. So it's incredible to see what they can do. I don't know. And Indian people, I am it. I don't do any of the. I think Buddhists are pretty interesting. I think that is a very interesting religion. Super old. The Indian culture is pretty interesting. They had contact with Egypt like a long time ago during Egypt's heights, and that's why they got temples. I'm pretty sure. That's like from what I've like researched. If you look up India's got incredible temples or pyramids. It's weird. It's crazy. India has, I'm pretty sure, one of like the 5 original languages, and it can't be deciphered still yet. And that's one of my hopes with AI, that can get deciphered. What's that little island with the big heads? Easter Island. They had their own dialect, their own vocabulary. No, that's not it. Their own alphabet. On like a tablet. Their own alphabet. And I think they were able to decipher that one. But pretty cool that little island is one of the 5 originals, I'm pretty sure. But India, it's pretty magnificent. But over here in Canada, they taught me it was sand, pretty much. It's not. Our school system taught us it's sand and everyone's poor. It's not like that. Very incredible things in India. It's so old. The culture is so old. It's like China. So old. So incredible. Architecture and the history of the empires and stuff. Pretty interesting. But yeah, check out the temples in India. They're just unbelievable. Pyramids, just the inside. I don't even know how they did it. It's so crazy. And the people here in this town and everywhere. And I tried to explain it to them when they were beginning. I'm like, hey, this is just the start. I was like, this happened where I grew up, where I grew up and where I lived before. This happened. It was a bigger scale. So, like, they have to. It takes time to get out into the smaller communities. They get into the communities where there's a lot of jobs and colleges and universities. And then they branch out into the smaller communities. But yeah, you go to any of these places and they are all international people because our government subsidizes these, if the grocery store hires a girl at Walmart, an Indian student died in the oven in a Walmart here in Canada within the last month, I think. And all that Walmart had to pay that girl was $8 an hour, I'm pretty sure. And Canada covers the other $8 for depending on what that girl goes to school. You know what I mean? Like, it depends what program you're taking. If you're going to school for arts, you probably get, for liberal arts, you get subsidy, I know it's up to 10,000, I'm pretty sure. Say we'll go with the grand scale of like maybe a doctor. Maybe this student's going to be a doctor and they're working at Walmart. Walmart has $10,000 to put towards that person's wages, like 50% of their wages, for $8 an hour. $8 by the government, however many hours that is, up to 10,000. That $8 an hour, up to $10,000. That's a lot of hours that person's gonna work at Walmart. That Walmart only has to pay $8 an hour instead of paying a Canadian citizen 16, I think it is. Maybe it's 17. So it's like $16.50 or whatever, or $8.50, but say it's 16. And so why would you hire somebody that is born in Canada? Because you're gonna have to pay them $16 an hour. But if I hire an international person, I only have to pay them $8. Obviously, that's why you see every single fucking place has an international student working at it. Because it's cheap labor. Cheap labor. That's what our Canadian government, that's what they've done. They've incentivized cheap labor. They're just bringing international students over in hordes. And then the universities and colleges charge them triple what a Canadian citizen pays for tuition. Then Trudeau recently announced that they're going to cap the amount of international students allowed. And so now colleges and universities are saying, oh, we're not making as much profit anymore. We can't take advantage of them anymore. What are we going to do? Fucking horseshit. That's their main priority. Not the education of the students and the Canadian citizens. It's profit, profit, profit. Every fucking industry, profit, profit, profit. Shareholders gotta be happy. Donors gotta be happy. That's how our system's working, and that's what niggles me. Tomorrow we'll go over Biden's pardons.